What's going on, you guys? Back with another episode of the Spoonway Podcast. I'm your host, Destin Parker, and always we got the co-host, Kendall Allen. What's good with you, Kendall?
Hey man, it's good, man. It's like a nice rainy day here in Florida, and it feels so good to know that we got thunderstorms in the forecast for today and tomorrow, and just like the regular thunderstorms outside that we have, there's a thunderstorm brewing in L.A. with the King and his butler AD coming back to the lineup after my Lakers has been just holding it down without LeBron and AD. But yeah, just another sunny day. And the Jaguars about to have Trevor Lawrence, so a dynasty is about to be born. So Destin, on this nice sunny rainy day in Jacksonville, Florida, I'm just like, today is a good day.
That's good to hear, man. It's good to hear. We back, guys, with another episode on the podcast. Bring y'all, hard hitting podcast. Hopefully week after week. Like always, we hope y'all enjoying the podcast as we sit here and grind to continue on this business on our way to the top. Well, let's get right into it. First on the docket, someone I sent to my boy Kendall.
Is just wilding, just
another type of relationship guru, advice giver. This ain't my man. What's his name? Jackson.
I don't know. A short man. I'm taller than that man. Let's just call him short man.
It's not Derek Jackson. It's a lot of people have already heard of him. Kevin Samuels. He is probably known for more of his inspiration of people that he's giving advice to. I guess
that man gets some honest advice too. I guess I'm like,
So in the midst of all this, I sent Kendall. Like, we're probably gonna watch that video. Can I have another way? It's just we're gonna just have a reaction clip. It's like 6 minutes. Kevin Samuels, like,
oh Lord.
It's just he just giving, I guess you would say, advice to different women. And each one he does, I want you to, when we're going to pause right there on each take and grade whether or not too far or right on the nose.
Okay, we can do that. That sounds good.
Yeah. So let me, and for our watchers, I'll share that. So let's go like this. Let's go here. This should provide some type of entertainment to me. So let's share screen too.
Yeah, this man. When I saw the video, I was just like, "Do y'all really want to take advice from this man?" But hey, let's. Anyway, get it started.
Go. If I can't play. All right.
The one that impregnated you once or twice.
He went to jail.
Oh, so you pick ass whippers and felons. And then you're gonna complain about what other. I need you to stop right here, ma'am. I need you to slow the whole. I need you to slow the whole French toast down. I'm not gonna let you get on here and talk about what black men are not when you pick and dudes that whoop your ass and are felons. See, I'm not gonna sit around and let you black women just sit around and talk about hey, black men ain't here and they ain't this, they ain't that. When in your own life you pick shit. Men.
Oh. Roll it back. Let's roll it back.
So, wow.
Okay, Kendall. So, baby father is in jail, obviously, and he's obviously committed some form of crime. We do not know, but he is in jail. Is Kevin Samuels wrong, out of pocket for this, or is he on the nail when he's in the statement he said to her? Regardless,
man. So, as we all know, people can make personal decisions in who they go after or who they're attracted to. And some women just have to be or just just happen. There we go. Happen to be attracted to, the bad guy. So if you knew the person you were dating was a felon, then, and then if you're dating, you knew he was a butt whooper, then, and then you still decide to have a baby. I mean, he's not wrong, but his delivery is like, oh my goodness, like it's like no, it was like no soft landing on that. It was just like male, no. Because his defense too, if she's saying that, if she's trying to make it sound like all black men are like that, me and Destin aren't felons. No. Nor do we whoop anybody. I mean, I don't think neither one of us are going to. We could be as mad as we want to. I don't think we go hit our significant others anyway. So I barely beat my kids. I ain't no hand whooper. So I mean, so that just beats that down. So I mean, he's just kind of got there, but it was just like, woof, man. I hope the rest of the video ain't like this, but I guess we can.
It's different takes. I'll go. What I've gauged from Kevin is, I will say, like this one in particular, I would go, he wasn't wrong in how he said it, because most likely if your dude's in jail, you're coming from a harder background, so you have to have a tougher love speech brought to you.
Yeah.
It's not to say that he need to call her out her name or yada yada, but if your dude's a felon, and this is who you chose, but this is what you think is all the representation of every black man that is created. And
but she didn't just pick one person though; she picked multiple.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where it'll be different if she just had one person, and that's like people going around stereotyping people because all black people like this, all white people like this. That's not true. Now there's sections of the society, because if you guys remember that we're human beings. We all have the same traits, so we all kind of grab, Yeah. So like I said, he wasn't wrong. He just kind of like, just like, hey.
Gets even worse throughout the video, but we gonna see that. I think of probably the only one that we kind of can go like, I mean, he wasn't wrong, but we'll see how he goes. The rest of them. All right, on to the next clip.
When in your own life, you pick in our community, 80% of the women who are fit, but yet in our community, 80% of the women are overweight and 80% of that are obese. No one holds women accountable for their weight. So who's holding women accountable?
I'm sorry, but who is going to get liposuction? Who's
No. What the French toast? Liposuction is called push away from the table, drink water, eat vegetables, and exercise like a liposuction. I know, but no, ma'am, it's called exercise. It is called exercise. So you're
all right, so in this last thing,
what? So you just said it wasn't gonna get worse, bro. That man just.
No, I said it's probably get worse from here. This is the only one we probably gonna be able to agree on, and the rest of them are get worse.
And this man said, "What the French toast, ma'am? Liposuction, no, is scooting away for like, dang, like, bro, like."
So I think the better way what he was trying to say is it's
the better way. I mean, he just said, man, he's called extra. I mean, he even tried to like lean into. He's like extra. I'm like, dang.
You definitely never want to point weight of anything at any woman. That's one of the they're probably their number one touchier subjects in their, let's say, on their side of like their spectrum, I guess, because you grow up already dealing with that from a young age,
definitely
books and all that stuff, and weight consciousness and stuff like that. It's been it's ingrained in women's head since they were like little girls. So what has happened here, on my take, not Kendall's take, this is me. He's expressing, because you do not ever, like, I never say anything to my wife about hers. Kendall, you don't do the same at all. Mm-hmm. It's what he's saying is more of the want of somebody, not necessarily the need. You don't, because women are going through a lot. Like when if she has birthed some kids, you like automatically as a man, you realize the blessing that your woman has given. Mm-hmm. The sacrifice that your woman has done to her body, because the birthing process and all that stuff is not hardest thing out there. I mean, it don't get no worse than have your body ripped apart so a little human can come out of it. I mean,
That's true. That is very true.
This is one of the touchier ones. This is the touchier. So there's no explanation without getting yourself across some.
But I mean, I guess I don't know. It's here. It says refuses to lose weight. Mm-hmm. So like, if she's okay with where she is, then I mean, if other people are worried about how she's looking, then there's something wrong with them.
So,
but
go ahead.
I mean, I'm trying to think why is she calling him? Is she trying to say that she's overweight? Is she trying to lose weight? Or like, because I think if she's having a hard time, maybe she wants to lose weight. She's just having a hard time doing it. I think there's a better way for you to talk about healthier ways than just to be like, scoot your butt from the table and not eat and then go exercise. Like you could be like, what can you? I don't know, Brett.
Let's hear it back.
My man is straight up harsh. Like
let's hear it back. I think we had a little interference while we were playing.
Okay.
Are fit, but yet in our community, 80% of the women are overweight and 80% of that are obese.
So I think his opening statement was he said some percentage about men liking fit women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see, can I play it back and see, can I hear it? I couldn't quite hear the percentage he said about that. So let me turn it up.
Fit, but yet in our community, 80% of the women are overweight and 80% of that are obese. No one holds women accountable for their weight. So who's holding women accountable?
Okay, so I couldn't hear the percentage of women. He didn't say no percentage.
It was 80. He said 80% are overweight and 80% of the 80% are obese.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard he might say like men percentage of men like fit women, but he didn't say that. He just said
no, because he's saying who's holding women accountable for their weight. Well, how did you get to this point? Like, these are snippets. Yeah, that's true, but it's not for him to say that. First of all, it's not your job to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, why are we holding people accountable for how much they weigh? Some people just happen to be a little bit thicker. There are people who are thicker. Like, maybe there are people who are obese, but if that's how
So for you, what would be a weight account? Like, what weight would be accountability to hold your standards to? So would you allow your spouse to be 600 pounds?
I will not. If she is at the point of like the people that you see on the TV shows, then yeah, we got a problem. But I mean, I cook, so I don't got to worry about that because
it's like you all, when you're married, you most likely both you and your spouse are going to gain. You're gonna look different. With 20 and they're like 21 years old. That's
you game. I mean, I got I got pandemic weight on right now. I'm on my little belly, so I mean, it's just And two, like when you're married, like happy people just tend to blow up a little bit. That's just it's true. Everybody you met, remember at high school who got married, their pictures later on, they are they got some healthy weight.
Couple is just let's use that because every couple is different. Has like that attention to they're just active people, so they stay in a certain shape. But like you said, when you're happy, you kind of goes to the wayside. Like the only time that comes about is because for a lot of women they kind of have that they have those moments in time where they just kind of feel a little bit down on themselves for where they're at now, and they when certain clothing are not wearing like they wanted to, it don't flow, and then that's not necessarily you have to be skinny. Because I think the term fit equals skinny in a lot of people's head, and this is
exactly because
it's not the case.
And even now, like the way men look at, like a lot of us ain't looking for just this. People know now that your looks alone isn't going to satisfy anybody. You're not going to make a life off somebody who's just fit, but they can't spiritually or mentally reach you. That's just that's out the wayside. And then now too, like even like Victoria's Secret, they have like they got representation of all body shapes of women. So they even be talking about what's acceptable weight or who's patrolling women. First of all, dude, you're a man. Who cares? Who's who cares? That ain't none of your business.
Yeah.
Like
I think, like I say, like even when I tell Amber, like it ain't about the number on the scale. It's really how you feel.
Yeah. Now, if you're overweight and you're having like some health issues, then or if you're bigger and I'm not saying heavyweight, that might just be who you are. But if you're having some health issues and the doctor's saying it's contributing to that, the doctor, not some dude right here on the space. I'm just like, come on, man. I come from a family with bigger women. That's just their body type. So for people to say like, bruh, this no, we don't do
part too. When we having that discussion, I think when people say bigger, I think we try to still wrap up everybody into one package.
Yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily saying bigger. Like I think he's talking about people who have just really, really let themselves go.
Yeah.
So you expect that you could still get a certain man based on you sloppily let yourself go. I don't think he's talking about married women who's had kids. I think whoever this female is or young woman is, if let's give the theory that she is of a certain whatever weight, not to say that she has a certain body structure, but let's say, there's some girls who think they still their high school look like their high school picture, but they have gained 100 to 125 pounds since high school. Like I said, that's because of kid birth. Okay, that's because of kid birth. And because it's just like this: when you're single, it's a different aspect than when you're married.
Yeah,
because you're on the market in that sense, correct? So if you're on the market, it's kind of like this: you try to make yourself look as good as you can. Because unless
but depending on how much she was like 70 pounds in high school as he gained.
We don't know how much he actually weighs. We just going based on what the
but what you're saying though is like the whole premise of this is wrong though, because what you're saying is there's no man who's gonna love somebody unless no,
because they are guys who like bigger women.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
There's plenty.
But if she has called him Kevin Samuels and she has laid out the information to him, there's something obviously more to it than you just have a certain weight. There's not like once again, I'm not agreeing how he's delivering a message back to her.
Yeah,
but you have called him. Most of the people who called him, this man right here, which I don't understand, they have an issue of if they haven't acknowledged what they still you have no self-worth. You call this man here because he's coming to you. Because if you watch his previous content, he everybody, even men, he called dude, I think the guy was like 5'7". He was 250 pounds. So obviously, by that height and stature,
he's a little pumpy. Yeah,
be a rounder guy. And the guy was like he was a catch. I'm not saying the guy ain't a catch. I'm not saying he can't provide. But Kevin called him fat. I think his job I think he was there career wise. There's other aspect like dude, you destroyed my man.
Good Lord. Yeah.
I feel like you before you go to Camp 7, you really have to sit down and really sit down in front of something and just kind of really acknowledge where you're at. Before you, I would never go to him. I would never make my problems.
Yeah, it's just like, but as you see, if people still, because we only did 47 seconds, it's like a whole another 6 minutes, and people are continuing to call. Like what? Like why call it? Like, do people just want to hear him cut them down or something? Like, because
some people like to be degraded in that sense. It's not you that's calling the phone, it's the other people, and
that's true.
Some people, regardless of they know that he is a harsh critic of people tune in to view his content. He comes on, if he's still doing interviews to this day, people still tuning in because they want to hear him speak.
But I need to get me a call line for y'all because you can be told some truths without being just like
Troy,
this.
You want to be, you have to have your whole soul. I mean,
this man's like, here, come into the porta potty, and I'm gonna throw you all over in it. It's like,
yeah. So let's keep going. Let's see what we at here. We've heard that. That was skim through. Okay, so this one right here, this one might be interesting. Here we go. Let me get to where it starts. And
value girl.
I believe I am.
High value.
Then that means your femininity would be number one.
Right.
That goes opposite to aggression.
Opposite of aggression.
Yes.
Okay.
Aggression is masculine.
So maybe I should turn off my sales when I'm dating.
I'm just telling you, what high value men want is not aggressive females. They want feminine women. You may be successful in your career, but your education, your income does not increase your value to men.
Okay.
I did a broadcast on that 2-3 days ago. Men value your femininity, your beauty, your fitness, your submissiveness, your cooperation, your womb.
Average man and average.
All right. Kendall, would you consider yourself a high value man? And would you consider your wife a high value woman?
man, this is just like I don't even know why these people do themselves like this. Like, why?
Because
why?
I never see. I don't think aggression from a woman is masculine. That's me. I actually like a little bit of aggression out of a woman myself. I don't like really dainty like women. I've heard this, from other podcasters talking about him and this whole high value. So I would say on the man side, where I think he says a high value man is someone who makes $10,000 a month for like 5+ years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a high value. So I'm nowhere near that. I am low value, I guess you could say, in that theory. Amber, you got your ass great value over here, I guess. And for, I guess, that's a hard one because it almost what I don't know. What would you say to this clip here? What would you say to this clip here, Kendall?
Bro, why? I don't understand how this. I don't know where he coming from, bro. Like, this is just so not regular world stuff, bro. Like, this is what's wrong with people listening to this. I don't even want to watch the videos though. But why am I disturbing? This dude is trash. That's all I gotta say. This dude is straight up trash. So Destin, you're telling me that until you're making $10,000, let's start with that first. But until you're making $10,000 a month, you're not a high value man. So you're just trash. Even though you take care of your family, you got a job. We're doing this. You help. We're doing stuff. But now what kind of mess is that, bro? Like,
we're not high value, man.
Is he high value just because he got a turtleneck on right now?
I guess
because his tape up look it ain't really good, like his forehead and the back head. But and then to talk about her about you're schooling. How you know a high value man don't want somebody who's smart next to him who can help him make even more money? Or somebody he might want somebody aggressive, like you said. I don't mind an aggressive woman. That just made me feel better.
Yeah,
that's just so.
Yeah.
I don't like any man who just can like tear. He's just like tearing these people. Like, my blood boils right now. I just want to if I saw him, I might just hit him, dude. Because it's just like, what makes you think you know the value? Like, no, bro. Like,
we're gonna watch one more clip and then we gonna just go on to because I tell you, don't get no better from here. If I don't get no better.
And it hasn't got the stuff he's saying. I'm just like, bro. And obviously, people, anybody listen to our podcast, have y'all called into him? And can you tell me why? Especially after you've seen all this. Like, why?
I don't think I do graphic of people who've been listening to this podcast.
I might. Somebody. All
right, so last clip of this video, and then we're gonna move on because it'll get no better from here.
Average man and average woman standing next to each other. You know what he has on you that you don't on him?
Options.
Time.
Okay.
You got between the ages of 18 and 35, or between your first menstrual and 35 before you hit high risk pregnancy. After 40, you cross over into no man's land effectively. A man can be in his 60s and still, if he has the resources and the ability, he can still marry younger, even have kids. Men, we know you only want us for resources anyway. So the fact that you got to spend resources to get a younger woman, yeah, welcome to manhood.
Even average men are still, they have inflated egos and are still aiming for the 8, 9s, and 10s.
Well, there's a thing called man.
That was two different ones, I think. Because the average man versus the average woman. Then okay, so that first one was the difference between the average man and the average woman. And the statement was, after a certain age for a woman, you hit high risk in pregnancy. Where if a man, as you get older, like even in your 60s, you can still be able to produce children.
True.
So, which both are true. Now. I mean, most biological clock is ticking, so they try not to be having kids at a certain stage of their life. And I get now, but it is possible. My mom had my youngest brother Jaden; she was in her 30s. I mean, Amber was 30. Probably our next child is gonna be in her early 30s. You get what I'm saying? I mean, so not impossible, but the statement is true. You do become a high risk,
That's true. I mean, it's true. Yeah.
It's just true. The average man versus the average woman.
But there's some men who don't want kids. So what makes you think that they gonna go for a young? Like even.
But I think he just saying. I think he just comparing the two. I don't think he's saying. Like,
but he's like, to me, he's just making it like generalized. Like this is how every man think. No, we don't. Like, no, we don't. If God forbid something happened to my wife and I'm 60, I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to marry me a 24-year-old. Yeah. No, I'm gonna get somebody my age because one, I know what 24-year-olds do. That little thing ain't gonna want nothing with me. I ain't gonna sit here and just have somebody. He's talking about, we know y'all gonna use this anyway, so you gotta spend money to get assets. So why not spend money on the young thing?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend the young thing because she's probably waiting for me to die so she can take all my money from my kids anyway. So let me get somebody my age, and we can roll into the sunset together.
So you invite Kevin Samuels to your cookout?
Huh?
Inviting Kevin Samuels to your cookout?
Bro, he ain't even gonna get a thought to the head for any cookout. He ain't even coming to the dome where you're like, huh? Let me go my wife for cookout. Am I missing anybody? Nah, Brad. Listen, that's the kind of person. If I see down the street, man, I just might be like, "Oh, my bad, I'm tripping you. Sorry."
No, you good.
Or you got I spilled my wine on you, sir. Sorry, in your white turtleneck shirt. Like, bro, who are like this is what I'm saying. Who is this dude? And why are y'all letting him tear y'all down? Like, why?
This is our society. We don't. If the whole world was positivity all the time, we'd be a different world. But we're not.
Right? Like, we're not. But it's just in the way he acts like he's like Dr. Like he's maybe that's what he's trying to be the next Dr. Phil. Get him a TV show where he berating everybody about their truth. I mean, yes, there are things that are true. There's some it's facts. But the way that he just, man, no, this is just how it is. No, bro, no. Does he have kids? Is he married?
I don't think he is. He's single. I think he's.
Oh, so he might just be a toxic little black man.
Because he's like in his. I feel like if I heard it last time, he's like 53 or something.
No, so he just went through his life, and all the black women told him no.
Oh, he's been married twice. He said he's been married twice.
So equally let go.
So he's got to walk.
Yeah. So just like, man, listen.
To kind of wrap up his thing, I think if you with somebody or blah blah blah, you do come across time where you have to have those tougher conversations.
Yeah.
The aspects of not even just like being married or dating or even when you're coming into the knowing of somebody, so which sometimes certain responses can lead you to certain directions. So you always have to make sure that you are eloquently saying stuff and being very careful of how you come across. Because tone, like Kendall said, tone can change the whole dynamic of your conversation.
You can say the same thing, but if you say it in whatever tone you say it in, people will be like, "What?" Just like, I mean, you can say that. I don't mind why people say the N word to me because I grew up in a very diverse area. We let it slide. So, but it's the tone and how you say it because we didn't see the movies back in the day how they be saying it sometimes. So if you just happen to be one of my homies like that and you say it like, then you got some problems. But if you're just saying it regular, just to know, you be like, hey, you all right? But with the tone of it, you like, hey.
But moving on. So everyone's favorite smooth dancing singer Usher was recently in the news for throwing what looked like money with his head on it, and everyone's been calling it the Usher bucks.
That looks like, bro. Have you seen it? That was money with his head on it.
Yeah, so it was money with his head on it.
It doesn't look like it. We got proof. We got the visual evidence of Usher bucks.
And so, in the time from the story when I heard it earlier in the week on different podcasts, more has came out, obviously, of what the actual money was for. So initially, when I heard it, I thought Usher was just throwing bags of just fake money with his face on it, like he was a king of Zamunda, and throwing, I think it was like ones, 20s, and $100 bills. I think with the dollar,
with his face on it.
And
different pose.
The young ladies who worked at the strip club had posted on Twitter, and I think the thing was, what would you do if someone had brought like fake money with their name on it? Would you blast them on Blase, which starts this firestorm? The firestorm of Usher, it made it seem like Usher was on a downswing. It made it seem like Usher's career is over with because he's throwing fake money with his face on it.
I don't know why I want to say all that, but
that's the way everyone's been like posting through it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now everybody gonna react to it, but that's just what the initial was. What was your thoughts on it, Kendall, before I do the second thing of what I heard later on?
I was like, man, Usher that went to the club, and so instead of having to spend his own money, he probably like, hey girl, here's some Usher bucks, you can use these to come get some of my time, you come pay me and I'll say you some songs, I'll give you a back rub, just future, this is for the future. I know you probably need to pay for your light bill right now, but take these Usher bucks, just
Usher bucks.
Let me make it rain. I'm not like Floyd Mayweather. I just got money laying everywhere, so I can't make it rain like that, but I can make it rain with the Usher bucks.
So when you heard the Usher bucks, did you think he just did not bring any money with him or anything?
Well, from the way it was first reported, they made it sound like that's all it was just Usher bucks.
Just Usher bucks. Yeah, and then later on, it does come out from the owner, his manager, something like that he did pay money in the door and gave money. He had money on hand that he had already paid up front. The Usher bucks are really from different aspects. It was either for a project or he's having a residency in Vegas, which he was at a Vegas strip club that he's about to start, I think, this coming summer or let's see, something like that. So it was more of a promotional thing. It was not meant to pay the women because that wouldn't make any sense, which understandably, because like they can't do nothing with these Disney dollars. What they gonna do? Hopes and dreams? What they gonna do with these? They couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, couldn't you just have somebody shoot a video for you to like? Do you gotta listen? Them girls be out there to work. And when they hear Usher Raymond coming in, they like, man, we gonna put on the best and we gonna be doing the moves and we gonna be busting the knees and them ankles. It's just like, hey.
But also, too, was one of those where the girl who did tweet about it, it was more of a clout thing because she did like a what if, because she did repost like tweets later on. I didn't say he didn't bring any money.
Oh, see. Oh, so she's just trying to, okay.
because it was one of those things. She said, you know how it goes when someone hears fake news. That burns a lot faster and brighter than the truth.
It does, right? It does.
Everybody else. So everyone else heard the initial, saw the initial statement on Twitter and whatnot, and just ran with it. They're just running. They're just running like Usain Bolt in the Olympics right now. And by the time they get to the finish line, here comes the actual true story to finish up the backside of that, and they go, "Oh, it's more promotional thing." So like, he had an initial setup of what was going on in the strip club, and then this girl said what she said, and she kind of destroyed everything that was supposed to be, because it would have been just a simple. They probably knew about it, like the girls. There's no way them girls are just dancing for free money. No one's just gonna be shaking their tail. It's already a degrading job as it is, because you throw money. You have to throw it. Your money, your payment has to be thrown at you.
I mean, some people will just put it down as.
Yeah, like this money has to be splash. Here you go.
I mean, you can lay it down. You can just lay it down without splash.
Ain't nobody laying down on.
You can be a gentleman and be like, "Thank you."
Don't let Kendall fool. Ain't nobody. I ain't never heard nobody ever lay down on $1 bill. Hey, here you go, man. I'm gonna slide this 20 right here on the stage for you. No, it is get you a handful and you just
it's like you about to cut somebody's face. You like,
yeah, you flick it goes the whole atmosphere. But yeah, man, it just goes to show you that we as a society, we like to hear the lie before we get the truth. Because now,
that's true, bro.
Now, and I like, because at first I heard it on the podcast, and I didn't know that. I don't think at that time there wasn't any other developments. I heard on another podcast who then got that, because as they shoot their podcast on another day, they're able to have more time to get more information. So as you get more podcasts talking about it, they get more development because they shoot it later days than when that story happened. So like us. So let's say we shot our podcast on Monday or Tuesday when it kind of like came out. We were bashing it. Like, you make me want to go to the bank.
Make you want to spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's true though. That's why, like, a lot of times I just wait and like I've been wanting to talk about stuff, but like, hold on, let's like you said at the time we had the episode that we thought was ready to go. We did it before everything went down. It was gonna be banger. Good thing it didn't work because boy.
Well, our episode the last episode we did was talk about how him and James Harden was handling, which that is our last episode before.
Yeah.
I don't think we brought up anything. It was nothing else, going on at that time. So then when we come back,
it was like everything.
Everything is going on now. It's like he still wants to be traded, but now he gets some other stuff. What the heck is that? Sorry, guys. The side videos playing.
Hey.
It was not meant to be there. That's some video playing. I got some ads.
And this man over here
But yeah, man, I'm glad to hear that Usher, it was just more promotional thing, and get ready for his Las Vegas residency and stuff like that, and we just kind of go from there, man. What's your last thoughts on that, man? Now all the information has come out that it was just really meant to be promotion.
Listen, from what I thought about that, Usher knows he's irrelevant right now, so he needed somebody to help him out. So he might have slid her some extra Usher bucks and be like, "Hey man, I know I paid y'all, but can you push this out there? Let me get lit on fire for a little bit, so I can be like, oh hey guys, you good? Come out to the script, Usher Raymond in here. I ain't been the same since Lovers and Friends. Oh man, I'm off key. I'm off key real bad. Okay, anyway, but yeah, that's my little thing. He just trying to get his name put back up. Nobody talking about Usher Raymond no more. Come on,
it's still relevant, man. Don't you do that to him, man. Can't don't listen to regular music no more. So we can't.
I don't listen to regular music because music nowadays sucks. I'm still with Prince and Jodeci. It ain't coming out the 80s and 90s. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have all the little babies, the babies, the what? Yeah,
all of them.
All of them.
Some I guess darker news. Well, let's go up north, guys.
Darker? You mean a lacking of dark?
Well, it's darker because the information is darker. But Kendall's also correct too. We have up north in Wisconsin, where it was three? It was 3 middle school teachers.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
because they had put
working
together,
on their test, working on their test.
they had to put together. They had put together a lesson plan of what they would do to punish slaves for their sixth grade classes. So Kendall sent me this story on my phone, and it was definitely a WTF moment. And I get it. Wisconsin, that's it could have a lower population of black people, but it's still at this point, though, Kendall.
Hey man,
There's no slide for low population. There's no sliding for low.
I mean
there's no sliding for that. There's no
and that's
low black population.
Come on, like, and that's where I went. I was just like, representation and being around people of other culture matters, because you'll be able, even though you might have a hard time agreeing with everything, especially nowadays, everything's going on racially and stuff like that, and it's like, when you know somebody that's black or a different race, I think it'll be less likely to prompt you to have a question like, if your slave did something wrong, how would you handle the situation? I would think as you were writing that, you'd be like, oh damn, would Kendall agree with this? Let's just scrap this whole test, and you know what? Test day will be a pop quiz or some other stuff. Like, so, but if you're not around black people, so you've never been around black people, so your take on history might be a little bit different. I don't know how y'all telling the history of slavery. I guess y'all ain't telling it from, I don't know what kind of standpoint you're telling it from when you having a students be the slave master and you asking how to discipline your slave.
Now, even though it is a small percentage, 6.7% black people, that's still 374,000 black people that live in Wisconsin. Now, obviously, there's more people in that state than there is that number.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 6%. That's 6%. That's like,
yeah, but it's still a lot of damn black people, and 374 people. That's a lot of damn families in Wisconsin. So, because that makes me think, and I don't know if it says it, was that whole school just white? It would have to be for you to do a lesson plan like this.
It's possible. Possible it could have been a private school. A lot of times, private schools are predominantly white because a lot of us can't afford to pay for private school, and some of us don't want to pay for private school. You can take your butt on to the free school, and anyway. So I mean, it's possible. But like I said, even if it was like, I think for the teachers who came up with those particular questions, there's something lacking in their heart. Or they even just the question's not like you're learning about slavery, right? Like what do you like? Why do you need to be in the role? That's what is mind-boggling to me, because we all knew slavery was bad. So obviously you're not going to reenact slavery, right? You're not going to have like you in the big house and all the black kids outside. I don't think you're going to do that. But if you're telling the story and you're having a quiz or test, and one of the questions is this, it's like, maybe they're looking for they're trying to weed out kids that might make a bad decision. Maybe they said they'll scrap them outside and beat them. Maybe that's the kid they want to pull to the side and be like, hey, we don't,
This is the this is a classic. Just whoever teachers are, you messed up. There's a thought. There's one of them thoughts that because some people have bad thoughts, they just don't go through with it. This is a bad thought, and you went through with it. You should never did that. Because until a parent brought up, like when this happened, until a parent had said something like this was offensive, they wanted the lesson to be taken down. I think they would just keep riding with it. I think they just go ahead, because it took to a teacher. I mean, a parent said something. Because the assignment asked students how to punish a defiant slave using, I think that's, what is it, HAMMURABIS? Was that Harambe's code?
I don't know what that is, bro. I can barely spell, so you spell this stuff. I'm just like, who?
Oh yeah. So it goes set of laws. Which are a set of laws in ancient Mesopotamia Wow, some ancient laws. Okay. The investigation also found the assignment included other offensive questions. The assignment came to light in February when a parent complained. The parent asked for the lesson to be taken down due to its inappropriate and sensitive nature. The investigation found, but the teacher refused. Whoa. Okay, so you refused. The parent called the principal, who told the teachers to remove the assignment. The teachers were placed on leave. So when the initial when you initially someone investigated, they wanted you to take it down. You said no. It took to the principal. They had to call the principal to get you to take this lesson plan down. The teachers couldn't remember how they developed the lesson, but they acknowledged it appeared to be identical to a $4 lesson from Teachers Pay Teachers, a website where educators can buy and sell materials. The investigation found the site has since removed the lesson. So they're saying that they got this lesson from a site called Teachers Pay Teachers. I guess it's a site where they can all exchange lesson plans across more of a quicker way.
Mhm.
So it's not just so they say it's been taken down. So obviously it's not just the Wisconsin people. It's somebody else and other whoever started the website or whoever, not say the website, whoever these other teachers across wherever else also put this lesson plan out.
Mhm.
People to kind of look into. Oh man. So what else does it say here? The teachers acknowledged that upon reflection, their questions were inappropriate, but none of them could explain why they never considered how students and others might view the assignment. So you, as a teacher, as a person who are teaching the future people of like the world, you could not see how the lesson plan would make someone either uncomfortable, most likely that would have been a black person, a white kid would have been uncomfortable because they probably have a black friend who's once again. So you
Mhm.
and what you know as now an adult that you've learned from Black history from your time coming up through schooling.
Like I said,
Thank you, no
like
pass.
they don't have any. They don't have. You have to have no type of real experience with a black person.
They had to not ever existed in your lifetime. Like they had to just be like they had to be like almost like a word of mouth. Like black people are playing sports. Like man, they do what? Like I've never seen them up close. I've
But
only
I mean, bro, it's Wisconsin. There could be places in Wisconsin where, and depending on when the people were born, the teachers, how old the teachers are. I knew we knew a kid that went to Chick-fil-A who never really interacted with black people till then, and he was from up north. So it's just like,
but I'm not giving no pass though, man.
I mean, I'm I'm just saying, I'm not giving them the pass either. It's wrong, but like maybe that, like you just don't. For them to have that inner thinking, it to me they had no experience because yeah, where I grew up, but
I guess my thing is
uh.
here's a kicker on this. So if you refuse to take the lesson plan down, you don't realize how it fits. So this goes. So one of my buddies asked me a question uh, one time. So it was about that country star who had said the N word while he was drunk. Right? So of course he got backlash because he was recorded. It went viral. Okay, white country singer, and he had texted me and he was like, "Does this saying this word have to be a career ender?" Because he's thinking he's being compassionate, thinking about family, his family, all that, this, that, above. I go, well, first, he didn't say it to me, so I'm not dishing out his punishment, but when you understand what nigga and nigger, when you understand where that word comes from, when you understand where it's from, you know the power. I don't care if you're drunk. If you know what power that word holds. So you obviously have to face the repercussions of the people who hear you say it. So if you get to not go on tour for this whole year because ain't nobody gonna be buying you tickets, so hey, that's your fault. That's not my fault. I didn't tell you to say it. Because obviously you drinking and you've also said that word before. Ask your boy Papa John's. It take him 20 months and he still can't get the word out of his vocabulary. So it does not matter, man. It's like, so because then it goes into this. What kills me here, even though they knew that the lesson plan was wild. Now, not to say they say nigga, but you talk about how to punish slaves. It goes. The teachers were permitted to resign, but remain on paid leave through the end of the school year. So they either go sit at home and get paid for an inappropriate assignment that knowing damn well if it was of I would say a darker skin tone, they ain't no paid leave in that regard. That's how I think about that because like
that's something we still and we still try to get there. We got to handle all the other stuff before we can get to this stuff. I mean, we got to stop getting shot in the street before we can handle and we can get fired too and get paid. I mean, it's still
that too.
This is America. This is America. Don't catch you tripping up.
And that,
look how I'm living up.
You know what you saying that part, and watching that young man being gunned down, and we don't know the weight of a taser between a handgun and a taser, and then the whole I've heard every cop go, your gun's on your most dominant hip.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been on the force 26 years and you're a true blue gun shooters know the weight different. They can tell you how many bullets out of their clip by the weight of the gun. After doing this for so many years, you can tell me. So it's to a point now. I've already heard the whole I had a bad day. Oh, I didn't know that wasn't my taser. I'm so sick of looking like this. Because someone's saying something like that don't make it. That's bullshit.
Honestly, bro, I don't let it go, bro, because this is America. That's all it is, bro. It don't matter how loud you say it. It don't matter how many times you organize. This is just this is the price that we pay for living in America.
Continuing living here,
it is. This is. Which when you don't handle your demons always come back to roast. Mm-hmm. And we ain't handle our demons, and eventually we gonna have 20 good years, and then a bad 10 years, and 20 good years, and a bad. It's just gonna be a cycle, bro. For my piece, I just will. And now I will say though, on the whole police, I know it's not on the document, but to say it real quick, I saw some earlier. They were saying policemen shoot white people too. It just don't get reported, and there's been an uptick in that too. And it's just somebody in the comments was like, they do that out of to keep us at it's just black people don't. Oh, let's get this,
which is all of it's still wrong. If there's an unarmed white person that you killing and they just running, that's wrong too, because that's our thing. I think people understand. We're not saying. First of all, us being killed unarmed, that's egregiously wrong. If it's unarmed white people, that's still wrong. All of it's fucking wrong. Go ahead.
My thing is, unless they're shooting back at you, y'all don't. I honestly thought cops could. I guess they can't throw hands. Is that what they're saying?
Not a lot of no, not a lot.
I mean, does your training not include that? Because when I watch training. The little videos from the Chinese in their military and they part of their lessons are like hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, so I'm just like, hey, maybe that's how they operate in their people. They don't just shoot them all the time.
The acknowledgement that we need to do is the most the scariest part is though. So like, okay, Kendall, if me and you or you and somebody else have a disagreement, it's just disagreement two people. When you have a disagreement with a cop, one person it's cleared for killing because that's their job, part of their job description, and the other person you just out in the street. You just that's just what it is. Like you're cleared by law to pretty much handle in a certain manner because that's part of your job description. And not to say that all y'all are bad, not to say that y'all are intending to harm this person, but there's a lot of out there like officers who are having days where they're going with misjudgment. A lot of them that, you've been on the force for 26 years and you may not have had any strike on your record until now. Because the one thing I know is you can spend all your life building your Wikipedia page. All it takes is one moment to destroy it.
That's true.
You can destroy it in just 2 seconds. You could be gold. You can have all these gold medals, these honors, these medals, these trophies, and all that stuff. It takes 1 moment to destroy all that legacy.
Calling into the chat was Deshaun Watson to say he concurs.
That's all. It is all it takes, man. But that's all the emotion I get for that. I go back to being quiet, kind of go about my day during the regular day. That's doing what I do. I see this stuff all the time, Kendall, and I'm just like you. I kind of just like, yep, and just keep on moving on my day because that's about all I can do. All I can go is, I guess I'm alive, so I guess.
Man, that's how I do it, bro. Just say 1 day at a time, bro. The day when it's not happening is the day I'll be like, "What? You okay, America, y'all." Yeah, good job. Until then, I'm just like, I can't handle y'all no more.
But moving on to our last and final topic. So you had cancel culture. What part of cancel culture were you talking about?
See, it was great because you had a perfect segue too. But we kept talking. But when you was talking about the country singer and the N word, so that would have been great. But we can segue. It's great because we already about it. It's already been teased. So it's just like, so while we were gone, they were talking to some things that happened. Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head are no longer Mr. and Mrs. They are Potato Head. Dr. Seuss, everybody was getting riled up about Dr. Seuss because they were saying Dr. Seuss was canceling because Dr. Seuss had a couple racial books, they were a little racist back in the day. It's okay. And they started yelling about Dr. Seuss even though they already had those books about 20 years ago. Just they stopped making them 20 years ago. Y'all talking about it now, but they don't do it anymore. And then and then Lil Nas X. We gotta, because he coming down heaven on the pole, swinging his legs down to the devil's booty.
I gotta take on that one. That's funny because I actually laughed. So let's do the Potato Head. It's because even Pepe Le Pew, they canceled that nigga too.
Yeah, and Pepe, and don't forget MLB. MLB is trying to get canceled for stand up to the voting rights bill in Georgia.
Oh yeah. They
so cancel culture is all over. Sharon Osbourne get kicked off the View and she cries. Like so, it's just so much. And like you said, when is cancel culture too much? So can you start with Potato Head? I mean, you can just touch on a couple of things. You can just talk about Journey, but I do want to hear your Potato Head thing because I got something to say about Potato Head. So
always because it's getting to a point where there is a certain thing of going too far because the only thing on the Potato Head that made him a man was his mustache and his name being Mister.
That's true.
Mrs. had like a feminine hat on. And somebody made some pink colored stuff, like he
some
had
pink lips. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, like he had like a penis. Like Mr. Potato didn't have a penis hanging out. It was a toy for Toy Story.
Mrs. Potato Head didn't have that donkey donk.
Yeah, he wanted to slang it like this is my potato. Like that I think is going too far. I think in the plight to make everyone feel so equal. But you're really not, because now you're impacting other people and trying to make everyone feel like all I think equal is stop killing black people. People that are gay, just let them be accepted and feel like just people, even though they might have done not the gay people, the transgender. They just want to just let them be people. If they've done surgeries themselves, let them deal with them doing surgeries to themselves. Like I think that's where the equalness. You don't need to have. To wipe out all our childhood history just to make people feel more comfortable, so that's what's happened. They're wiping out everything in the past just to make a new outlook on life.
Yeah, it's like both sides of the issue need to grow a backbone. Because how did Pepe Le Pew get canceled?
And they put him for it was for bullying or sexual assault.
Yeah, but it's.
He's a cartoon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. Like, why you get so. And two, this is in our country. You are free not to consume anything that you don't want to consume. If you saw it and you didn't like it, then stop watching it. You gotta watch it. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and say you better watch Pepe. You better watch. And for the Potato Head thing, I was just like, why? So you telling me the GI Joes are just gonna be GIs? Because basically that the clothes and the head really separate, and the plastic body is really separated. The plastic bodies don't got So Barbie's gonna be you can't even call it a doll because doll is like almost a feminist. So you just be like, here, here's your toy. It's just like toy. Like
it's got to the point where the term. You've probably heard this statement all your life, Kendall. When something didn't go your way, life ain't.
Yes, all the time.
So all the time. Now, what society is trying to do? They're trying to make life fair, but you can't. You can't make life fair for everybody. Someone kind of gets left out, unfortunately. But when you understand life ain't fair, you find a way to overcome the unfairness.
You can look at the Disney dolls. Like I remember growing up, Disney didn't have any black or other than Jasmine, but now they do. Now they make they adapted to the times. They didn't just go out and be like, you know what? Instead of making the black dolls, we just say, I don't have any dolls. We're gonna make it what's a very neutral color, gray, because nobody's gray. So here's your gray doll. No, just.
Because I don't think the potato head thing ain't for the transgender. It's for those people who are like they don't identify, the non-identified people, the people who identify as this microphone. It's for those people. So
then just have your potato then don't buy them as a potato head.
Right? Like why take my toy? Why you take my toys away from me? Because you don't identify. Like that's the people. That's the parents who go. It's a boy. It's like, no, he doesn't know what he identifies as. He hasn't got to how you gonna he has you can't it's part of our generation. Unfortunately, it's not us, Kendall. It's part of our it's yes, being progressive thinker keeps you out to being in a narrow-minded, state of mind. But some people are progressing so far that now, bro, you're trying to wipe out people before you and stuff like these toys, these people's childhood. Like, hey, shoot, Disney was racist back in the day. They don't way back in the day.
Hey, it was. But
cancel Disney because they got a conglomerate on everything, so they own everything. So they got too much money. You don't have enough money to cancel Disney.
But still, they realized that they were wrong and they worked to correct it.
They worked to correct it. You gotta realize there's a lot of companies that were racist way back then.
And for to point two, black people wasn't complaining when we didn't get no Disney movies because you know what? We was at the movies just like everybody else watching Cinderella and stuff. We didn't everything nowadays is if somebody has a different opinion on something, it's crazy. It's like now, with the Sharon, I don't know about you heard about Sharon Osbourne.
I heard about her, but I feel like that's on her.
Yeah, because she was. I watch Bill Maher's show every now and once again. And she was on there talking about they canceled me because I was making fun of Meghan Markle. And nobody cared what y'all be saying about her. You got canceled is because it just so happened that you were acting a little racist to your coworkers for not just a couple of days, but for a period of time. So you were the cancer in the quote unquote locker room. And if you want to have a successful show that grows viewers, you're gonna cut bait with a bad person. Even if there's a black person on the show that was acting ignorant, I would be like, you need to get out of here.
Yeah, that's what
people. You're not getting canceled because what you're doing, because of how you treating people.
Yeah, I think there's valid canceling, and then there's okay.
It shouldn't be canceled for Sharon Osbourne to get fired. It should be you should be having a moment where maybe I need to correct my behavior, and maybe I did say those things. You know what? I apologize. It's not double down that you're being canceled just because you got left off the View. Can't you go get another job? You're Sharon Osbourne. Somebody will be if you genuinely made a mistake. Somebody else will be. That's the thing too about cancel culture. If somebody does something wrong, they should have the opportunity, like Michael Vick did. Michael Vick's a perfect explanation. He served his purpose. He served his role in society for doing what he did, and you know what? The Eagles gave him a chance. And he came out to still showed that he still had it. It was just too old. But the good thing for him and the bigger thing that made him a bigger man is he stopped fighting dogs. And still to this day, he advocate against doing that. So instead of us just canceling Michael Vick and just leaving him to the trash heap, we actually gave him opportunity to rehabilitate himself, and now look at him.
Yeah, and also,
So
cancel culture was obviously didn't start off really becoming the cancel culture until obviously years after Mike had already got out.
but just think if it was around then, Mike, we wouldn't see Mike nowhere.
So it's a lot of people who love animals more than they love people. So that you've been completely canceled. But also one thing Vic did was the acknowledgement of his wrongdoings.
Yeah.
Sharon doubled down. She didn't acknowledge. She don't see that she did anything wrong. If you don't ever see that you do anything wrong, you're not gonna think, because I'm pretty sure if she was doing stuff over a period of time of being, racial to her co-host, it would have to be the first time where she go, oh dang, I did not mean to be this way to you. The rest of the time would have happened. If you never acknowledge the wrongdoing, whether that be just that stuff at home, like that's how you grow as a husband, that's how you grow as a wife, that's how you grow as a person, you grow as anything. You have to acknowledge where you're wrong at. Set aside your pride, but if you don't acknowledge it, it ain't gonna be no growth. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. So hopefully, my thing is the whole cancel culture thing. It's like y'all need to sit down and like, what are you canceling? Like, doesn't even make sense.
And you know what it is?
Because half of the stuff don't make sense.
And you know what it is? Like, no one's the term cancel culture really pertains more to social media. It's for people to get on social media because, like, you go to Lil Nas X and then they ain't cancel him, and that before I go to that because I got a funny thing about that. The cancel culture, it really be just for the Derek Jackson thing. In theory, cancel Derek Jackson because he's gone against everything that he's ever preached to any of us, right?
And then he's talking to y'all and still doing it, and he's been doing it for multiple times. He deserves it.
So
I totally dislike him too.
You think that will be the case? That was for 1 week, and they forgot about him. We're on to the next thing. So cancel culture is only for a time period, which would be more than a week. So now, could Derek Jackson get right back to what he not to say cheating, but back to making profit off, like, cause he had a book coming out during that time, so he was getting that publicity. So I don't think this crumbles his relationship empire. I think if anything, it don't do nothing but make him get more views because bad publicity is good publicity. Everyone's heard that. So cancel culture is for like a time space, like a time, because you can go cancel them next week and you forgot about them because that's how fast society, because social media's moved, like you said, is instant grits. Maybe if we don't in like the early 2000s and 90s, people would probably stay canceled.
Yeah.
Because once you like, that's just be it. But to your Lil Nas X thing, what's been entertaining about this? First of all, for all y'all, Lil Nas X played everybody who needed to be played. So if you're super religious, again, if you have a negative response to it, he got to everybody because it's been one of the things where the reason why he made this piece of is art in the artistic way of music, because a lot of people have been saying he's going to hell because he's gay. So what does he do in return? He makes you a visual aid of himself being gay and going to hell. And so what it did was, so like I remember my wife watching it, and you could just see, you could always tell someone being uncomfortable or like it just doesn't sit well with you. So I could tell it didn't sit well with her. I asked her, she really didn't give me too much response, but you could tell in her face, boy, body language said a lot. She was not cool with the video.
I was saying, I don't know how any man can be cool with. See, I'm like,
it's like I said, it's not my artistic style, but do I like the song? I don't know. I mean, it sounds cool to me. Just hearing it, the video, the representation of what he made visually was to do intentionally what it was, to troll the people who said what you said about him.
Oh, he's a mad troll.
He is a mastermind when it comes to marketing and media. He got y'all. Boom, bam, got your ass. He trolled you because guess what? That was the number one song on Spotify at one point. Like I said, am I gay? No. Would I be twerking on the devil? No, that wouldn't be me. But Lil Nas X shows y'all representation, and he got y'all with the visual aid of it all. because it
Mhm.
will show you that if you felt uncomfortable, it was intended for you because first of all, it's gonna make you open your eyes. Like, hey, he told y'all, hey, because people don't leave people alone for this very reason. You should have left his
Mhm.
ass alone. You should just let him be who he was, continue to just make his music. But the people on social media who was telling he was going to hell for being gay, this was the outcome.
And that was our community too, because they was out there telling him
If he's
had
black,
to.
that's a whole different. That's a whole.
Oh
Nother,
yeah,
that's a
it's
whole.
oh boy, being black and gay is a whole different level.
No,
But
no, yeah. But
yeah, but what? Oh, go ahead.
no, that's I'm done. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say one of the guys in my men's group, he made a good point. Like he was like, yeah, I don't really care that he do it, but I'm thinking about it. If my children and my child, he's like, that makes me a bad parent because everybody listened to Old Town Road, but Old Town Road had some stuff in it too, but it was catchy and you didn't care. So he made the point that when his song dropped, all the kids got it too because they're following on YouTube, and he's like, so they just seen it for probably a couple of days before you as a parent heard about it, and you're just like, oh So more, that's a check on you too, because it's like I agree. I was like, dang, you make a good point, because that means a lot of people is like, oh, they'll be all right. Then something happened, you be like, oh, shame on them. Said no, parent, shame on you for laxing your stuff and what your kids listen to.
That's back to the acknowledgement thing, and just like you said earlier, it's the tone of it. The tone of Old Town Road was fun, dancey. You loved it. Billy Ray Cyrus, it's a good old time. It's I think it's Montero, something like that. Call Me by Your Name.
I don't know what it's called, but
that tone of that changed your whole, because you saw the visual aid. Because let's say the song would have came out, you probably wouldn't, because Old Town Road's song was out for a while before the actual visual aid to Old Town Road. So for a lot of us, we really, 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 really don't listen to the lyrics of a lot of songs. We don't really pay that much mind to it, and so this one, the second, this other video that's been so viral, you got the visual aid song first, like boom, this drops, and you see the depiction of what's going on. So now you're, oh my god, cover my child's eyes, or whoever can catch it. And so what we do is adults or parents or whatever, we blame Lil Nas X. But people have been creating type of art like this forever. It just, this one's the one that's hot right now. So it doesn't say don't stop your kid from watching bad things, but this is what been going on for decades. It's before Lil Nas X was even Lil Nas X, man. I mean, there's a plenty of content that's been made. I mean, because in that theory, you would get mad at RuPaul's Drag Race for men dressing up. I mean, and nothing wrong with that, but you would get mad at all these other outlets where,
I mean, you would have been mad at me watching Trina videos back in the day because I wasn't supposed to be watching them things.
So that, I mean, I don't know how whoever y'all parents, your kids, you do what you got to do, but this really puts into perspective of what you have to be more self-aware of. I mean, this is what it is. Eli, like I said, Kendall, how old is Eli at this moment? Eli
7.
He's 7. So this is this time frame, and all the way up from here is going to be a very, like very forming years of his life of what he's going to be thinking prospectively out on people, on himself, out on what, his environment. So this becomes that development age already. Like you already developed as, with your 2 little girls, but now him being the oldest, he gets, now what he does is now example for what them 2 do. It's how they kind of perceive things because Eli did it, or they don't want to do what Eli did. So, because I am the oldest, I am a big brother, so I've done, you do things that you realize, okay, I'm the big brother,
Yeah.
And also, you don't realize that till after you've done, if there's something good or bad after you've done it. But that's just where you at, man.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
This is hey. Cancel culture is weird. All of the culture is weird, man. It's so funny. It's so funny.
All the culture is weird.
Y'all cancel everything. Y'all don't, y'all trying to, y'all up in arms about Lil Nas X. Y'all up, everybody's, we crazy, the royal family, we realizing how weird that family is. They still been racist since race has been racist,
I mean, they're the architects of races, but anyway.
Yeah. That's all I got, man. What you got? What else you got on the docket over there, man? You good?
Hey, man, we have exhaust, bro. We have exhaust. We catch it up, so it's just been so juicy. And it's going to continue to stay juicy, and we're just going to continue to bring that juicy fruit.
That's what I'm talking about, man. But now in closing, man, hey guys, I'd like to say thank y'all for whoever always listens to the podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Always remember to like, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube at Smoothway Podcast for the visual aid. That you can go anywhere you get podcasts. Type in Smoothway Podcast, hit the subscribe button, leave us comments, leave us notes, tell us what you feel about it. And then, hey man, we'll go from there. But as always, man, I have been Destin Parker. That has been my co-host, Kenan Allen, guys. This has been the Smoothway Podcast, guys. And we out. Peace.